Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Prosperity Mindset Call. And had a great call last night, a training call last night at 10 o'clock Eastern Time on our team broadcast. And, this call is designed to get our day started, to get our heads and our hearts working together as we go out and take on the 97% of the world, the negative thinkers, the negative naysayers, and the non-action takers. So this is a great call to get our day started right. This morning, I want to talk about the power of personal development. We talk about it all the time. I don't believe that anybody can have success in their life unless they indulge and engage in a high level of personal growth and enhancements and working on their self-confidence and their courage and just becoming a better, well-rounded person. And I couldn't think of a better book to help people get started right as far as their thinking and how they should think to become successful. And I read this book probably about 30 times, 31, 32 times. I actually lost count of it because I quit reading it and I started dissecting it. The difference between reading it and dissecting it, I started dissecting a book about 20 years ago called Think and Go Rich by Napoleon Hill. And if you haven't read it, first you got to read it, and then you got to start dissecting it and really understanding the whole scope of the book and what Think and Go Rich was really all about. This book was so powerful that they tried to do everything in his power, in their power, to stop the book from being published. Now think about that for a second. If something was so dangerous to the world from a positive standpoint that people they actually put death threats on his family, they tried to bribe him, they tried to do whatever they could do to derail him from publishing the book Think and Grow Rich. And if you understand the backstory of the book, you'll go out and read the book and you'll dissect the book. You'll make the book a part of who you really are. Because the title itself, we can spend hours and hours just on the title. Think and Grow Rich. Think and Grow Rich. It didn't say go get education, get rich. It didn't say hit the lottery, get rich. It didn't say go get a job, get rich. Think and grow rich. Think and grow rich. And we always hear, the adage, you become what you think. But it truly is true. It truly is true. But Napoleon Hill took it to a whole nother level. What he did was he reached out to some of the most ultra successful people in the world, and he wanted to get in their head and find out how they thought, how they processed their mindset to help them become successful. And it was 20 years of research. He took 20 years out of his life, and he studied some of the most brilliant, successful people in the world. People like Henry Ford, William Wrigley Jr., John Wanamaker, James Hill, George Parker, Theodore Roosevelt, Dr. Starr Jordan, just Charles Schwab. Y'all know who he is. His business is still running today. John Rockefeller, Thomas Edison, F.W. Woolworth, Colonel Dollar. Just Woodrow Wilson, Taft. Just some very, very powerful, Dr. Graham Bell. We all know what some of these inventions. But they were so scared of the information getting out to people like you and I, they did whatever they could do to stop him from publishing the book. So what does that tell you about a person that's successful? They're more valuable than any amount of money that you could ever garner from them. But what you should be trying to garner from them is how they think, and how they take their thoughts and move it into action. And one of the things I learned about being around great, ultra-successful people is I was able to start having conversations with them to understand their thinking in business and life and different facets of their life. And Think and Grow Rich is one of those books that if you haven't dissected the book, and if you haven't read it over and over and over again, if you haven't bought the audio and put it in your car and put it on your iPhone or your Android device and listen to it over and over and over again, you're missing out. I believe it's one of the most powerful books in the world. It's actually the number 2 selling book in the world behind the Bible. Think and Grow Rich is the second most published book, read book in the world behind the Bible. And the reason why it's so powerful is ladies and gentlemen, think about this. It took a guy 2 decades to gather information on some of the most brilliant minds to ever walk the earth, and he takes it and summarizes it in the book And he allows us, our society allows us to read it and apply it to our life and our business. And one of the things I learned, I was reading, I remember one time I was on a plane sitting beside Jesse Jackson. We were talking. We were flying from Cincinnati back to Atlanta. And he said, you know what, one of the things that I hate about our society is if you want a secret, all you got to do is you want to keep a secret, just put it in the book. Nobody will ever find it. And he's right about that. Ladies and gentlemen, I believe one of the most biggest secrets that all of us could experience is dissecting Think and Grow Rich. It is one of the most powerful books that I've read, will continue to read over and over and over again, and apply the thinking to every facet of my life. Think and Grow Rich. If you don't have it in your library, if you're not passing it down to your friends, your family, your kids, your grandkids, then you're missing it. This is one of those heirlooms that you want to pass it down. You want to pass down wealth, but you also want to pass down wealthy thinking, wealthy thoughts, wealthy things. And this is one of those things that you can never, ever take this away from somebody, the way they think. And when I start really dissecting Think and Grow Rich, it's crazy how I was able to, you know what? There's one chapter, and I think it's chapter 6. Text Consultation talks about taking the energy that human behavior of taking somebody's energy of wanting to have sex with the other sex, taking that and applying that in your business, taking that energy of the wow and applying it in your business for 6, 7, 8, 9 months, and taking all that energy, all that rage, all that edge, all the things and thoughts that go through every human being's mind. It doesn't matter who you are, what walk of life, and applying that into your life and what you want to be successful at. When I start reading, the book is so deep. Every time I read it, I find out more and more and more. That's why if you just read a book one time, you missed it because you're going through different phases of your life, and you're going to be able to gather different things from the book and different applications from the book because you're going through different phases of your life. And I hope that makes sense. So just don't read it one time. Read it every quarter. Read it every month. And start continually taking the information that you got from it and applying it in your life. That's what personal growth and enhancement is all about. I remember I met a guy where he could quote every book in the world, but he never applied any of it. It starts with how we think. I don't care what type of business we're in, what we're doing in our life, spirituality, health, I don't care what it is. It starts with how we think. Think and grow rich. Think and grow rich. Every time I get to a bookstore and I have a chance to buy them, I buy them. I have 10, 12, 14 of them. And I just send them out to friends, family, people that I love and care about. Read this book, read this book, read this book. The same way we used to send out stuff about gossip or National Enquiry or this old crazy magazine or some story that we saw on the internet that was negative, we would forward that out to our friends. Why don't we forward one of the most sought-after books in the world to them? That's a very easy read, that anybody can read it and apply it in their life. Do you think and grow rich? Did you wake up this morning and start thinking positively? Or did you wake up and start thinking about what you didn't have, what you want but you don't have, what you're struggling with? Or did you get up and start thinking about what you're going to attract into your life? What did you get up? When you hit the floor this morning, after hopefully you said a prayer for being here, what was the next thought in your mind? I want you guys to start tracking your thoughts. When you wake up, I want you to jot down the first thing that comes to your mind. The next 7 days, when you wake up, I want you to jot it down. Put a pad beside your bed. I want you to jot it down. I want you to jot down what you thought about when you woke up. And I want you to start having a thought journal when you wake up. Is it positive or negative? And I want you to put a minus sign by a negative and a plus if it's positive. And I want you to start tracking your thoughts when you wake up in the morning. That's what I wanted to share this morning on the Prosperity Mindset Call.